This is the Pal Talk News Network.
The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on Blip TV and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. No retribution. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you to the show, and I remind you, as I always do, to go to our website, paltalknewsnetwork.com, paltalknewsnetwork.com. Read it early and often, just like voting in Chicago, for news that you may or may not see, hear, or read in the mainstream media. To my right, your left, the distinguished-looking gentleman is Dr. Avi Perry, who is the author of the outstanding book 72 Virgins, which is about Islamic terrorism. It is a fictional account based on reality. It's the best I can say about it, Avi. It's obvious that you know what you're writing about. I'm not going to ask you how you know how the Mossad and the FBI and Al-Qaeda work, but somehow you managed to research all that for the book.
It's more than just research. I have good friends everywhere. I have good friends in the Mossad. I have good friends in the FBI, in the CIA, in the Israeli military intelligence. They tell me things that they usually don't tell other people.
Well, I'm in the Mossad, and I never told you a damn thing. I just want to make that clear. I once got accused of that, by the way. I once got accused of being in the Mossad when I was a reporter in Detroit. And my answer to them was, yeah, you know what the best thing is? I get to keep both my salaries, my paltry salary that the Mossad gives me, and my cover salary for my cover job as a reporter for CBS Radio in Detroit. So I get to double dip. And by the way, I don't pay taxes on the Mossad salary, only on the CBS salary.
Well, they take the tax beforehand, so you don't even know you don't pay.
You don't even know. See, and all that time I thought I was getting all that money tax-free. You just wrote recently, Avi Perry, about the mullahs in Iran, saying that they have the right to special weapons. Now, special weapons sounds to me like they are acknowledging that they have aspirations for nuclear weapons, and it's really not, it's a surprise to me, I believed them all along, an attempt just to develop nuclear, safe, clean energy.
Well, it's... They have made it clear that they have crossed a critical point. They stopped denying that their nuclear development is for non-peaceful purposes. And right now they started talking about the fact that their nuclear development is for aggressive purposes. And I guess they developed a campaign now that they are allowed to do that, just like Israel, just like the United States, just like all the nuclear powers in the world. Why not them? And
well, why not them? It's funny you mention specifically Israel, not a signatory to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, never acknowledged that they have nuclear weapons, although it's like an open secret.
That's right.
And they say, well, if Israel can have them, so can I.
That's right. Israel, by the way, is the only country in the world who is subject to the threat of genocide. No country in the world is subject to the same threat. The problem that Israel has...
They want you to speak louder.
Okay. The problem that Israel has is that its enemies are not looking to replace the government of Israel. They are looking to kill all their citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that somebody can do that is with nuclear weapons. When you look to replace a government, or you have a small territorial dispute like they have between India and Pakistan, they're not going to use nuclear weapons for that, because they do not want to kill all the people who live there. They want to replace the government. They want to take over the government. That's the best they can hope for. The problem that Israel has is that its enemies want to kill everybody in that country. And Israel must protect itself against that kind of genocidal threat.
Somebody asks in text in our virtual auditorium here on paltalk.com, are you just another Israeli Islamophobe?
No, I'm a realist. I live in reality, and the reality in the Middle East is different than the reality in the United States or in any other country in the world. No country, like I said before, no other country in the world is facing the threat of genocide. Israel is the only one. So whatever is true for Israel is not true for anybody else.
Now, I take offense, and you probably didn't see it fly by, to what Jack Attack just wrote in text, and I want to see if she has enough chutzpah to put up her hand and talk on the microphone. She says, well, I think that Hitler was a realist too. And isn't that a little bit of an offensive comment?
I don't even understand what Hitler has to do with this discussion.
Well, because what people like that want to do is probably suggest that the Israelis are the new Nazis. We hear this all the time.
Okay. A lot of people say a lot of things about other people and compare them to Hitler. Nobody in the world can be compared to that person. And comparing Israel to Hitler is... the person who does that apparently is ignorant, doesn't understand history, doesn't understand what happened in Germany or in Europe during World War II, and it doesn't understand what's going on in Israel. The people in Israel just want to live. That's all. They don't want to kill anybody else.
Well, wait a minute. Aren't all the Palestinians being put into cattle cars and shipped out to concentration camps and starved to death and thrown into incinerators?
This could be a story that Hamas tells their children, but it's not really the truth.
Yeah. Let's go back to Iran for a second. They claim, and with them, God knows how much, what they say is, I question the veracity of everything that they say. But the government of Iran claims that on Friday, in just a couple of days, they are going to participate in a flotilla of humanitarian aid to the Gaza, and it's going to be escorted by Revolutionary Guard naval vessels. How they're going to get through the Suez Canal is beyond me, but that's what they claim. Do you take this seriously? And if so, do you consider that a threat to Israel?
First of all, it should be taken very seriously, and they will be able to cross the Suez Canal.
They will?
Yes, I think so. Because the Suez Canal is considered international waters, and therefore they will be able to cross. Israel sent submarines through the Suez Canal to the Indian Ocean as well, and near the Persian Gulf. So these submarines have all sorts of capabilities. But the Iranian we'll see. We have to take it very, very seriously, and Israel will take it very, very seriously. The tactics that will be used this time will be very, very different than what has been used during the previous flotilla's affair. And I'm sure that Israel learned its lesson. The execution was less than perfect. Apparently, intelligence was less than perfect. And Israel did not expect